America's divide and the rising concerns. First of all, folks, this is Peter Boykin, and I am a constitutionalist for liberty. I'm a citizen journalist for my website, gorightnews.com. You can check out more information on that website. So Trump survives a second assassination attempt. I know we talked about this before, but there's a little bit more information. Heightened security concerns amidst dangerous political rhetoric. Donald Trump survived a second assassination attempt while golfing at his West Palm Beach club. The suspect, identified as 58-year-old Ryan Rolfe, was armed with a AK-47 style rifle and positioned dangerously close to the former president. According to reports from the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and Fox News' Sean Hannity, U.S. Secret Service agents engaged the shooter when they spotted the rifle protruding through the tree line. While the suspect initially escaped, he was later apprehended with the help of a bystander's photo of the getaway vehicle. Now, the investigation revealed alarming details about Rolfe's background, a resident of Hawaii with a history in North Carolina. I'm here in North Carolina, and the news has been all about North Carolina. They have been tracing where he's from. He's got a lot of abandoned buildings, tattered past, all sorts of crazy stuff. But this guy is alive. This guy's alive, so we can figure out what's going on if the guy doesn't turn out dead. Now, he had a social media presence dedicated to promoting Ukraine's war efforts. His radical political views extended beyond Ukraine, as his anti-Trump posts frequently echoed divisive Democrat rhetoric. Now, I'm just stop there. I don't know where they get. I have not read anything really of how him being a former Trump supporter. I will let you know. I run Gays for Trump, and he's claiming he's a proud LGBT member. He is definitely not a Gays for Trump. We don't claim him. Never heard of the guy. Now, he had a post suggesting "Make Americans Slaves Again, Master." Yeah. Photos from Ralph's Hawaii residence even showed a Biden-Harris sticker on his vehicle, further linking him to Democratic donations and the political left. This attempt comes on the heels of a similar attack just 2 months prior, where Trump was grazed by a bullet at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The second attempt, along with Ralph's radicalized rhetoric, raises grave concerns about the escalation of political violence fueled by extreme discourse. What gets me is I hear this common thread from people on the left going, well, maybe if Donald Trump would quit talking about his horrible rhetoric, his violent rhetoric, which I don't hear it. Closing the borders and making America safe and putting Americans first is not dangerous rhetoric. But they're literally saying that kind of in a way they're saying he deserves it for his dangerous rhetoric. So violence because of him talking, that's ridiculous. Radicalized by rhetoric, Ralph's social media revealed a deep obsession with promoting the Ukraine war effort, often recruiting people to fight alongside Ukrainian forces. His post also exhibited an intense hatred of Donald Trump, repeatedly using inflammatory language and aligning himself with divisive Democrat messaging. This ideological extremism, often echoed by Democratic leaders, Maxine Waters, raises concerns about the dangerous polarization in the country today. In the wake of this assassination attempt, second one already, Trump's message remained firm. Quote, "I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender." This reflects the former president's continued resilience despite increasing threats against him. Meanwhile, security gaps and political fallout. Palm Beach Sheriff Rick Bradshaw explained that since Trump is no longer the sitting president, his security detail does not include a full lockdown of his surroundings. It makes absolutely no sense. While the Secret Service covers areas immediately around Trump, other vulnerabilities remain. And Sheriff Bradshaw confirmed that Ralph was within 300 to 500 yards of the former president, a distance easily covered with a high-powered rifle. This event underscores a large concern about the lack of resources for protecting a former president who still commands significant political influence. It makes no sense, folks. Makes no sense. You're nickeling and diming our former president. No matter who the president is, they deserve to get just as much protection. Now, many are now questioning whether more should be done to safeguard high-profile figures, especially those who remain central to the nation's political future. This assassination attempt also sheds light on the potential role extreme rhetoric from political figures may play in incited violence. So we move on to the reading crisis, the rising crime and political divides. The staggering 46% of Americans didn't read a single book in the past year. I haven't neither. I've listened to books, read the internet, I watch videos. Read a book? No. This decline in reading raises concern about the state of education and intellectual engagement in our constitutional republic. The implications are troubling as we face more division in our society. And on the subject of division, recent studies show that 40% of women aged 18 to 29 now identify as liberal, up from 32% just a few years ago. This shift represents growing ideological differences, particularly as it relates to social and cultural views. They're really baiting them in with the whole women's choice and the abortion issue. It's just a farce. It's just a way to get you to believe in all the other crap that they want you to believe in. Meanwhile, crime statistics paint a dark picture of rising violence in America. Under the Biden-Harris administration, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault have soared by more than 40%. This stark rise comes despite the administration's efforts to downplay these troubling trends. While some may view this as a byproduct of failed policies, the facts speak for themselves. America is becoming less safe under current leadership. It's crucial to recognize that opinions about the cause of rising crime may vary, but the numbers are indisputable. In a less surprising turn, only 8% of voters said that Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris makes them more likely to vote for her. On the contrary, 20% say it makes them less likely to support Harris. Celebrity endorsements, while always interesting to watch, rarely seem to have any significant effect on the political landscape. And election integrity wins and voter concerns. Election integrity continues to be a major issue for voters, especially with the recent ruling by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The court declared that mail-in ballots without correctly dated envelopes cannot be counted. Duh. This decision reaffirms the importance of following established rules and ensuring every vote is legitimate. In a victory for those concerned about the potential of voter fraud, it reinforces transparency in our election processes. And Democrats, quit fighting people on us. Quit fighting people about election integrity. You are so worried about somebody damaging our democracy that you installed some new president without any people voting on it, that you keep fussing about it every time we want to do something that keeps people who shouldn't be voting from voting. And you're like, oh, it's racism. People can't get IDs. They get IDs for everything else. Now, over in Oregon, however, concerns arise after about 300 non-citizens eligible for driver's license were mistakenly registered to vote. Non-citizens eligible for driver's license, shouldn't happen anyway, were mistakenly registered to vote. This was described as an administrative error, but it underscores the need for greater oversight in ensuring that only eligible citizens participate in elections. Honest mistakes or not, these types of errors fuel mistrust in the system and require swift action to rectify. And then the news will go, there's unfounded. People are not voting who's not supposed to vote. And that moves us to economic and technological developments. On the technological front, United Airlines is set to roll out free in-flight Wi-Fi for passengers using SpaceX Starlink internet service. This leap forward in air travel would improve passengers' experiences significantly with fast and reliable connections during flights. It's a move that marks the continued push for high-tech convenience in everyday life. Meanwhile, Trump's federal housing plan, ending illegal rentals. In other news, Donald Trump also made headlines by announcing his plans to ban companies that receive federal housing subsidies from renting to illegal aliens. This aligns with Trump's consistent stance on immigration control, focusing on ensuring that taxpayer dollars benefit American citizens and legal residents first. While this proposal is likely to face pushback, I don't know why, particularly from those advocating for more lenient immigration policies, it is a clear reflection of Trump's America First agenda. And let's move on to cultural and social issues. New York City lawmakers have passed a bill to create a reparations task force with the goal of addressing slavery and racial injustice. This proposal has sparked heated debate as it could lead to billions in taxpayer money being allocated for reparations. And people ain't got the money now, people. We bleeding blood from a turnip. Supporters argue it's a long overdue recognition of historical wrongs, while critics warn of the physical and social impact that measures could bring. It remains a controversial topic with significant ramifications for the future. But it's going to be so hard to figure out who's who and who deserves it, who doesn't, and it might cause even more fights. It's just another way to divide people. And we talked about this in another podcast, but Pope Francis has also weighed in on the current political climate, suggesting that U.S. voters will have the right, have to choose the lesser evil in the upcoming presidential election. His statement highlights the moral dilemmas of choosing between candidates like Kamala Harris, who he claims kills children through support of abortion, and Donald Trump, who throws out migrants. But the Pope's remarks have sparked both praise and criticism, reflecting the complex moral debates that voters face in our constitutional republic. But let me remind you, he lives in Rome, which is behind walls, who kicks out people who try to intrude. So he does not welcome the migrants. He's also my Pope because I'm Catholic, but I disagree that if you can take in so many migrants as it is, but when it starts hurting the people, there comes a problem. You can only give so much aid for people. It kind of goes under the teach a man to fish, not just give them fish. So fix their countries so they stay there and develop their own countries instead of coming and being dependent on us. And meanwhile, Hunter Biden's business partner shifts sides in a curious development. Hunter Biden's former business partner and close friend was spotted at a Trump fundraiser in Beverly Hills. This unexpected crossing of party lines is raising eyebrows and could signal further cracks in the once solid alliance between Hunter and those around him. While it's unclear what this shift means for Hunter Biden's circle, it certainly reflects growing dissatisfaction among some political elites. That's all for today. We'll be right back with a hashtag Go Right recap remix. I think it's time for us to go right. So here's a hashtag Go Right recap remix. As Donald Trump narrowly survives a second assassination attempt, it's clear that political violence and extremism are on the rise. Ryan Rolfe, a far-left radical with ties to Ukraine, came dangerously close to striking the former president, raising questions about security measures and the role of rhetoric in inciting violence. Trump's message remains strong: I will never surrender, as he presses forward amid growing threats. And on the electoral front, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has moved to reinforce election integrity by ruling against undated or outdated or wrong-dated mail-in ballots, while Trump continues to push his policies, including a plan to restrict housing benefits to illegal immigrants. These developments set the stage for the ongoing political battles will shape the future of our constitutional republic. It's all about putting America first, folks. I don't know what's so hard about that. So thanks for watching. Hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. For more news and updates, visit GoRightNews.com. You can also follow us on Rumble.com. Just look for Go Right News. YouTube, look for Go Right News, Peter Boykin. TikTok, look for Go Right News videos. And Facebook, again, look for Peter Boykin, Go Right News, by looking for hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Want to help? You can donate at Cash App at $ Peter Boykin 1, and visit GoRightNews.com or peterboykin.com for the links and more details. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay safe, and always go right. Peace.